Welcome to FPTV New Releases, where I am privileged to be joined by master author Francesco Demetri and master artist Mario Alberti. How are you, gentlemen?
Thank you. Very well. Very well. Well, everything's
Thank you.
fine here.
Thank you. Can't complain.
Very good. You know, it's great to see you both looking so well. And we're here to talk about the second collection of Cutting Edge, The Devil's Mirror, which everyone can buy from the links attached to this interview right here, right now. What can you tell us about the story as it continues in The Devil's Mirror?
Go ahead, writer. It's your turn.
Well, what can I say? We're going to learn some more about the Edgers, about the main characters of the story. The entire series is character driven, so both Mario and I were very interested in see how these people would interact in a real world situation and real world stress. So we're going to see a lot of them. We're going to find out something more about them as people, and we're going to find something more about the way they act together as a team. So this is, I think, the emotional core of the story itself. As far from the story, it is a haste, and we all like a good haste, you know.
So Mario, the artwork in this book is so intricate and so beautiful. How long does it take you to plan and illustrate each page?
It really depends on the page and on the research that I had to do before. You know, Cutting Edge is it takes place in the world where we live. So we have a scene in the British Museum, for example, and I wanted to be exactly the British Museum, and the characters move around in the places that actually does exist. So beforehand, there is a work of research for references and everything that I need to portray as much as best as I can, as strictly close to the reality as I can, the environment. So it does work beforehand, and then well, it really depends. It's around 1 day and a half, 2 days for each page.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a beautiful intricacy to your work and that you can see in this book, which is, it's always just such a pleasure to turn the page and see what's coming next.
I think there was quite an evolution in my style and my way of drawing during Cutting Edge. It was something that I was looking for, because I wanted the story to start a very classic, very traditionally, even style-wise, you know, and then I wanted the style to develop and become more colorful and weird and intricate, as if I was trying to move parallel with the story. As the story moves on, it becomes crazier, and you have stranger creatures and you know, more weird stuff. And I wanted my style to reflect that as much as possible. And I really love the last 2 books in the series, because I think that I really achieved a couple pages that I'm pretty fond of, actually.
Yeah, I quite rightly so, I think. Now, gents, what I've got 2 questions for both of you. It's the same 2 questions. Which character, I'll start with you, Francesco, which character do you think is most like you? And do you have a favorite character?
Okay, I can't answer to the first question because they're all geniuses. So it would be really immodest to say the particular genius is more like you. So I would just avoid to answer that. As for my favorite character, probably it's Stella, because I think she is a character with a lot of human depth, more than anybody else, at least to begin with. So she starts out as a much warmer human being than the others, and that made it incredibly fun to write her.
That's cool. How about yourself, Mario?
Can we speak spoilers of the first book?
Yes, we can. Yeah,
yes, we can.
Yeah,
so the bastard there killed my favorite character, which was Jira Keywalker.
Yeah.
Who was by far my favorite character. And the evil writer killed her off by the end of the first adventure. So after that, probably, yeah, Stella, me too, maybe. Dilroy as well. But I like them all. I mean, you know, yeah, as you move on with your story, with your character, you get fond of them. You get some kind of attachment to them. So it's really, I can't really say, you know, it's my favorite. Like saying who's my favorite between my son and my daughter. Something like
I totally understand. I
And
really
there
do
is,
understand.
I think there is something really important that Mario is pointing out here. We're thinking of them as a team, first and foremost. So it's not just a collection of individuals. It is, of course, they are very strong individuals because they are geniuses, they have large egos, etc., etc. But they are written and created artistically as a team. So they make sense together. So
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Now, guys, the idea that giant corporations have the power to rival and even replace governments is not uncommon. It's very prevalent in this day and age.
yeah.
Do you think it's something that could genuinely happen?
I think it already happened, to be honest. I think it's in the past. No, it's not in the future. It's something we need to do something about, because I don't think it is good. But I don't think it would be a conspiracy theory to say that it already happened in practice. They have more money, they have more reach, they don't need to keep any land. So yeah, they are much more powerful than any state on earth. I mean, Google is much more powerful than any country right now. They don't have the military, but who needs the military anymore? I mean, we don't wage wars their way anymore. So yeah.
I think that's very well said. They often don't pay tax. You know, that's another thing. You know, they take, they don't contribute very much, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, you have these economical
Yeah.
clusters that often also are more powerful than countries, and I think that nowadays the juxtaposition of powers probably is no longer as much as it was between capital and labor as it is between producers and consumers. I think that people should become aware of their power as consumers and exploit that as much as possible for a change to happen. And we need a change, I believe, in the world nowadays.
Yeah. I think that's a very strong point, very well made. Actually, the power of consumers when people combine for those reasons, it is very effective. You know, but the problem with corporations, you know, if you do psychometric testing on a corporation, corporations are psychopathic, right? You know, all they care about is growth without responsibility. So you know.
But I think that's the real problem. They are so large now that they're not under control of any single individual. When I say corporations, I very much mean literally corporations. I don't necessarily mean people working for them, not even the CEO. You know, I just mean the corporation as a social organism. They went completely out of control. No, I mean, it was difficult to foresee before even to somebody did, but it was difficult to foresee. But now that happened, I think we would need a collective effort as consumer to do something about it, as states, as lawmakers, etc.
Yeah,
which is a bit what Cutting Edge is about, after all.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And to kind of loop back to the book itself, there were a lot of other edges tasked in the Dodecathlon. Would you guys ever like to tell a story about them and their adventures? Do you have any plans to revisit the universe?
No, I think we'd prefer to come out with something new, some new project, or some. Actually, we are in talks. So as every creative, we have our drawers full of ideas and projects, and we will find our chance to come up with take out of our drawers something new and start a new character and a new adventure.
I think. Yeah, exactly. I think this is something we are working with Mario. We're working on with Mario. I think that none of us like the idea of revisiting old places, because the idea with Cutting Edge was, with the other edges, was giving this feeling that there is a large world out there. But if we start filling it up, it immediately starts feeling smaller. While it is still large until we don't tell any story, all the stories they might contain.
I think it's a very bold decision to avoid the easy route of further exploring that universe you've created, because I think one of the downsides to doing that is that you can have a very pure idea and a pure execution of a storyline like you guys have, and then you just end up diluting it to the point that you've harmed the value of the thing you've created in the first place.
Yeah, I've seen it happen with many of my favorite franchise. So in our small world, because of course it's a very small franchise, but we don't want to do the same mistake. And I think that Mario agrees. This is something we've been talking about a lot.
Yeah, well, I think that creatives are some kind of explorers. We like uncharted maps, and finding new territories, new dragons to fight. That's our main hobby and goal, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful thing. Now to close out on, guys, if somebody's watching this, if we've got an FP customer who's watching and they're picking up Cutting Edge for the first time, they might be ordering this book, which is available at the links, and the previous book, which is also available here. What would you say to them that would make them want to read this book? What do you think for you? What are you proudest of about this series as creators?
Well, it's a tough one. The thing that I like about Cutting Edge, the thing that I invite our readers to try and find is we try to plant a seed, of a chance to think about the world that surrounds us. It's every good story, and of course we try to do that. It's not I'm not saying that we achieve the goal, but for sure the aim is to tell a story that somehow matters, and I hope that our readers, and I invite our readers to try and find what we wanted to show them about the world with our story.
Yeah, I think I agree with Mario. I mean, it's not perfect. I would never come up and say, "Hey, this is the perfect story," but it is a story with a lot of heart. We put all our heart in it, and we told it as honestly as we could. And I think that there is always some pleasure to be had in reading a honest story. Not perfect, but definitely honest.
I think those are great answers. Very compelling. But also, I think there's a lot of humility in your response, quite rightly, because you're talking about your own work. I don't have to be as humble as you because I'm talking about your work. So what I would say to add to what you've said is I think I've been on a great journey with these books since we've been talking about them. And I love them, and at Titan, we're very proud to be producing the English language editions, to be publishing the English language editions. I think they're an exquisite piece of work that has a lot of resonance for people living in today's society. And there's a lot of themes I think you will feel, but it's wrapped up in such a beautifully presented package, which you guys should be incredibly proud of. And we're very pleased, we're very proud to be involved with.
Thank you.
Forbidden Planet are proud to sell.
Thank you, Andrew.
So guys, thank you for dropping in and talking to me about your beautiful work.
Thank you. It's a great
thing.
It's really
always a pleasure.
It's really great to see you both. Such a pleasure. And everybody watching this can order the books from the links attached to this interview. Mario and Francesco are two amazing talents, and it's a privilege to be working with you guys.
Thank you.
Take care of yourselves.
You too. Stay safe.
You too. Stay safe. Yes,
and
exactly.
You both stay safe, and I'll see you in the new year. Take care.
Yes. See you in the new year. Take care, Andrew.
Bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye, everyone.